Firsts. I spent much of the next day scrolling through Facebook in shock. The conversations surrounding the November 5th policy change were swift and heated. The single topic dominated all my social feeds, this in a time when social media was still generally a pleasant environment. Not this week. Friends of mine came out for and against the church in one of the first polarized social media storms I had ever experienced. The heightened emotions put me into a far greater shock than the actual policy change. I was too new to my changed world to form a coherent opinion on the subject. My friends who attacked the church annoyed me. They didn't understand. This was just how it had always been. What else could you expect? The church would never change. They thought gay stuff was against God's plan. So why the surprise and outrage? But then my friends who defended the church began annoying me as well. Couldn't they sympathize with how difficult the policy might be to someone it affected? Didn't they understand that this policy could only push away a demographic they had already marginalized? There I sat, utterly catatonic over these two irreconcilable ideas. It was like my internal conflict splattered all over the internet. I scrolled all day through posts of people on both sides who should have at least proofread their posts. Or not posted at all. I'm still quite confident that shutting the hell up was, in fact, an option. Even Easton posted something like, "Unity, yada yada yada." His was one of the best hot takes I read that day, but my opinion may have been biased. Anyway, let's please move on to the thing that should have been on my mind that Friday afternoon. Easton arrived at my doorstep that evening for our date, looking dapper in a button-down shirt. He smiled when he saw me. And holy freaking good golly gosh, the burning in the bosom is real. He was on time, dressed well, had good posture, and was happy to see me. Easton had nailed it on all fronts. We left my apartment and climbed into his car parked at the creamery. Easton closed his door, turning to me. "I'm kind of nervous knowing this is your first gay date." "It's okay, I wanted to go out." I smiled, somehow happy to know I was worth being nervous over. "I have a question, though." His eyebrows raised. "Yeah? Who pays for the date? Like in general, for, this kind of thing." Easton burst into laughter, shaking his head. "You're adorable." I waited with expectant eyes and clenched teeth for him to answer my question. He tipped his head. "I asked you out, so my treat." I nodded. "So is that like a thing? The person who asks pays?" "I don't know," Easton said. "You could always just ask right when you get into their car. I hear that works well too." "Right," I said. "So what I'm hearing is feel it out and don't be awkward." "Sure." Easton grinned, shifting the car into reverse and backing out. "How was your day?" "Just the usual," I said. "How about you?" "I'm part of this gluten-free dinner group. We changed things up this week and had breakfast." Easton pulled out onto 9th East, heading south. "Oh right, gluten." I cursed myself for forgetting. "Are you really fine with Mexican food? We can go somewhere else." Easton waved the concern away, laughing at me. "Mexican is fine. It's one of the easier gluten-free food types. Lots of corn tortillas. I would probably starve if I couldn't have bread." "It's not so bad," he said. "I can cook for you sometime to prove you could survive." "I'm down." Easton laughed, looking over at me. "Oh good. My giving love language is service, so I like making food for people." Skeptical, I glanced sideways at him. "You know about the 5 love languages?" Incredulity transformed Easton's face. "Doesn't everyone?" Mentioning Claire 2 minutes into our first date felt like a terrible idea, so I reverted to food. "Well, if cooking is your thing, we should definitely be friends." I shot a glance at him. "Gotta cash in on this love expression thing you got going on." We arrived at a restaurant on West Center Street, past the new Provo City Center Temple, which was nearing the end of construction. Easton parked and we navigated Center Street to the restaurant. He held the door open for me. Easton had made reservations. A waitress seated us in a dimly lit room next to a window overlooking a mall. "I'll be back in a minute with your drinks," she said, heading off. Easton looked at me, sitting across the white tablecloth. "Fancy. What are some things you like to do? I remember you said you write, right?" I nodded, feeling an inward spike of guilt. Everyone seemed to correlate interest in writing with a general lack of ambition. I didn't want Easton to think I had nothing in life going for me. It's just a hobby, but yeah. The waitress dropped by to take our drink orders. She darted off without a word. Easton refocused on me. Remind me, what genre? Easton asked. I watched him to gauge how much he was judging me. No specific genre. Before my mission, I wrote fantasy, but I've been working on science fiction since getting home. Easton smiled. You'll have to tell me about them sometime. I wanted him to know I didn't only define myself as a writer. Being a writer was so uncool. Aside from writing, I like rock climbing, longboarding, and dancing. I listed all the passing hobbies I had gained from past roommates over the years. Easton grinned. You sure you're not from California? Pretty sure. What kind of dancing? I shrugged. Ballroom stuff. Waltz, cha-cha, tango on a good day. Oh, I'll have to see that. Your turn now. What do you like? The waitress came with our waters. She placed them on the table, looking from me to Easton. We ordered. She looked uncomfortable while writing my order on her notepad. She excused herself, departing. Easton refocused on me. I enjoy writing too, but more like essays. I also like cooking a lot. Took some cooking classes in high school. Oh, and I like TV and movies. I'm so excited to see Spectre. Easton said. What's that? The fourth James Bond movie. It came out this week. I kind of have a thing for James Bond, Easton said. I haven't seen the third. Skyfall? Easton leaned forward, putting his hand on the table. We might have to change that. Our waitress returned with 2 steaming plates of food that she placed before us with skittish movements. Is there anything else I can get for you? I think we're good, I said, glancing at Easton, who nodded. The waitress responded with a nervous mumble and departed. I stared after her, a sinking feeling in my gut. Her anxiety had increased with each interaction. Did we make her nervous? Or was I being paranoid over being on a gay date in Provo? Easton leaned forward. My roommate has the DVD, and we've got a TV. We could watch it later. I shrugged, picking up my fork. Sure. Do your roommates know? About me being gay? Easton asked, laughing. Not officially, but they probably suspect. I grinned, thinking of my roommates. I've had a girlfriend for most of the year, so mine are clueless. There you go, Easton said, winking at me. Very effective. I've told my roommates I've been on dates with girls when I was actually with guys. I laughed, already planning to do the same. Anyway, Easton said, cutting into his dinner, I told you mine. Who's your man crush? We finished dinner and went to Easton's place to watch James Bond. Easton parked at his apartment. From there, we walked together to get drinks at Sodalicious, a glorified soda shop with flavor shots and other super healthy add-ins. We both ordered medium-sized sodas and walked back to Easton's apartment, talking all the way. Night had fallen. We retired to the couch in Easton's apartment and watched Skyfall. His arm was around me by the end of the movie, and I held his hand. His fingertips were rough, forearms hairy, and chest firm. I could lean on him without fear of touching his non-existent boobs. This felt right. Comfortable. My head was against his warm chest. His heart thudded under my ear. The movie ended, credits rolling up the screen. Outside, heavy footsteps rumbled up the stairs to the second-story apartment. Easton and I broke apart. I leaned forward, clenching my hands in nervousness. Easton stood strolling into the kitchen, acting as if no cuddling had occurred. His roommates entered. Easton engaged them in conversation, asking how the ward activity had gone. I introduced myself, and we made superficial conversation. The threat of discovery had passed. Should we get going? Easton asked after a minute. I nodded. We left the apartment and descended the stairs to the parking lot. Easton drove me home, parking in the BYU Creamery lot. I paused before getting out. Did you want to do anything else? Easton shrugged. I just figured you'd want to get home. It was Friday night. I shook my head. I'm fine being out a little longer. Easton grinned. All right. Putting the car in reverse, he pulled out onto 9th East. A short drive later, we stopped on a ledge on the mountainside overlooking Provo City. He shifted his car into park, cutting the engine. We talked into the night. Things were simple. My cares were a world away. Easton looked at me. He had a strange ability to stop my breath with a single look. It sounds like we might end up spending more time together. I hope you're okay with that. I'm cool with that. Are you? Easton failed to conceal a grin. Honestly, I'm pretty open to spending time with you and getting to know you better. So you don't have to worry. He looked at me with a nervous laugh. Hopefully that's not too much. I cleared my throat with an involuntary smile of my own. No, I feel the same. He looked at me in the dim light of the car with Utah Valley stretched out before us. Do you mind if I kiss you? I nodded. I had hoped he would offer. He sat up straighter. I leaned forward. He caressed my chin and brushed his lips against mine. Suddenly, I understood. I understood affection, love, and the tenderness of a physical connection. Being close to another person became worthwhile in that single moment of revelation. The emotion behind all the dumbass love songs on the radio snapped into place. I now comprehended, finally, the stories of love that had transcended generations. All this and more, I understood. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to understand.